Phase Moon. We're live taking your calls from around the world. It is quite amazing when we open up the lines and you just never know what you're going to hear. And let me tell you, the Olympics are going on right now, the opening ceremony. So I got a feeling there's going to be some UFO sightings over there in Rio. And there's so many cameras going on over there. I remember what happened the last Olympics. There was a mass sighting. So have your cameras ready for that. You know what? We're going to be taking calls from around the world. And the number to call in is 347-934-0378. We are live, and this is Third Phase of Moon. And everybody, stay tuned because we'll be right back.
We're tracking 3 fast-moving objects, origin unknown.
All right, we're live, Third Phase of Moon, and I just shared a link in the flash chat. I want everybody to go take a look at that. We just received this video all the way from Florida, never before seen. Obviously, people are saying a rocket explosion, a Trident missile, an Atlas rocket. Who knows what's going on over Florida, and why are they always exploding is a big question. Do the aliens have something else to say about these rockets? What? There's so much action above the skies over there. The military claims this is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong going on. This is the way the operation went. It's a success, but it doesn't make any sense. And then these weird anomalies within the craft itself, within the explosion, tracking whatever's going on over the skies. The person that shot this video wants to remain anonymous. The bone thread says, better question is, why do they keep exploding at night? Yeah, that is a good question. Why always at night? Do they want everybody to see this? Is this some kind of soft disclosure? Devin Sturgeon says it reminds them of the comet we had a while ago. Yeah, it could be a comet entering Earth's atmosphere and blowing up. Any other ideas, people? That's what we like. We like your opinions as they come in. We will be sharing your opinions in regards to this video as we go on tonight. The number to call in to share your UFO story live to the world is 347-934-0378. That's the number to call in. Let's get to some callers right now. Let's bring them in. That's what Third Phase of Moon was created for, basically, talking to the public and opening up the lines of communication. So let's get to it. 760, you're live, Third Phase of Moon. Welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Hey, pretty good. Where are you calling in from, sir? Hello? Yeah.
San Diego.
All right. Hey, thanks for calling in. Yeah, I got you loud and clear, sir. What's your name?
Perfect. My name is Organic Warrior.
Organic Warrior. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm from Kauai,
How do you call
born
yourself?
and raised.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know, I'm. Yeah, I know you guys are living over on the Big Island, right? Or wherever you guys make your videos.
Yep. Well, we're on the Hamakua Coast right now. We're on the Hamakua Coast, broadcasting live on the Big Island of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Organic
so
Warrior.
It's kind of random.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead. Can you hear me all right? I got my earpiece.
Yeah.
I have little Skull Candy earbuds in. So okay, cool.
Yeah, you're live. Why'd you call in tonight, Organic Warrior? You got something to share tonight?
Well, what happened was I was on YouTube on your guys' awesome channel, and I just saw you pop that video up from Florida, and I was like, wow, perfect timing. You know, because I like seeing the one. You know, I feel like I'm kind of special if I see it before anyone else. When
there
you
you
just
go.
popped it up there, but yeah, I saw it, and you know, I'm not buying into, you know, I just don't think it's a rocket of any sort. I've seen too many craft, and I was going to share a story with you tonight. It was an interesting one. My mom lives out in Vegas, and I was driving back from Vegas one night, and I was coming through Palm Springs, and I'm like, okay, and I'm coming over the mountains, and it was actually just about dark, and I was looking off to the left. I forgot what highway that is. I'm coming before the Palm Springs airport. And I'm coming down, and I'm looking at the mountain range, and I've seen orbs before, but these ones, this one just popped up, bright as ever, like as bright as a star, brighter than a star. And I'm like, oh, there's one right there. And I'm driving, and I'm there's a lot of people on the road, so I'm trying to stay straight. But and I'm like, oh, okay, there's one right there. Boom, I spot them. I see them all the time, especially out in Arizona, driving back from Vegas. And this one was just, boom, glowing right there. Okay, there's one. Then I'm facing, now it got dark, and I'm facing the highway, and I'm going towards Los Angeles, but I'm coming into Palm Springs facing the airport. So I can see the lights. I can see everything. All of a sudden, to the right above the airport, probably, I'd say a good, 500 feet up in the air, there's, boom, 2 more orbs. They just appeared, bink and bink. I'm like, oh my gosh! And by this time it was dark. Yeah, this time it's already dark. So I'm just going. I'm gonna pull over on the side of the freeway. So I just pulled over right away on the side of the freeway, and I was like, okay, this is happening right now. Where's my iPod at the time I had with a video camera? I'm like freaking out. I'm like, okay, this thing just, so what it did is it did the typical, how another orb comes out of it. I've seen a lot of footage like that, where another one will just pop out of it. Kind of like if it was kind of like a mothership type thing, but it was an orb. Another one popped out, bing, multiplied another one. There's 2 of them. And then all of a sudden I pull over, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming up the side of the freeway that I'm on. So I'm freaking out, and I'm like, I'm trying to wave cars over at this point, and like semis are coming by, and here it comes. It's coming up on the side, and I'm talking, it looked like it was as big as a VW bug, not too big. And I'm like, here it is. And I was like standing, and by the time I figured out no one's going to pull over, I was just like, where's my camera? Boom, I get the footage, but I pulled it out late, and the thing passed right over me. I mean, I could have hucked a rock at it, and I was just like, wow. And then it didn't make any noise. It was kind of like a little bit of a noise. And I'm like, okay, is this a government like drone or something? No way. This was full on. And then so what happened was it kept going. It went up the freeway, and I'm like, okay, and I kept my camera on it. And then by this time I had footage of it, and it was like a light, coming up, and then it crossed over the freeway on the other side, back about a mile from where I just came from on the freeway. And so it was coming back, and then it came on the other side of the freeway, and I was driving, keeping up with it. And I'm like, oh, I'm back on the freeway. Now it's going down by the warehouse district, and then all of a sudden I followed it, and then it just went down. Boom. And I had so much adrenaline in me that I drove all the way to LA. I called like 5 of my friends. I mean, I've seen UFOs in the past. I saw one in Hawaii one time with 2 other buddies driving from the east side of Kauai. Oh yeah, driving
cool.
Through Molowa'a. I don't know if you know, that's on the north shore of Kauai. There was an intense bright light all of a sudden by the mountain range, and it was just, and then it just dropped straight. It looked like it just descended into the mountains, and it was so bright. And I told my friend, pull over there, let's see. And my hair was standing up on the back of my neck, and I just talked to my other friend about it the other night, and he was like, oh, I'll always remember that the rest of my life. But yeah, so that's my story, and I've seen multiple other orbs, and I've seen stuff. I've been in Northern California, up in the boonies, and camping out up there, and I've seen all kinds of stuff. But the thing I saw tonight with Florida, the Florida footage,
Yep.
I mean, that stuff just looks, I mean, that you can't. There's nothing, that's not man-made, you know?
Yeah. You know what's amazing is the person that shot this wants to remain anonymous. And I'm like, why? Why do you want to remain anonymous? I want to give credit to the people that shoot this stuff. And unfortunately, we can't give links to all the people that shoot it because they're afraid of the ridicule. Who knows? They might have a job that somebody might say, oh, you believe in UFOs or something like that.
Ridiculous.
And then it's crazy. It's crazy. And that the pressure out there, the pressure on the people not to reveal their names or their source because they're just afraid of that ridicule is ridiculous, as you just said, man. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate the story.
Hey, wait, I have a quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
I was wondering, since you guys are pretty open-minded about the whole thing, we want to know, you know, and we're so close to disclosure and everything. I've been diving into the whole flat Earth, you know, thing lately, and a lot of the times the UFOs that are going into the ocean, a lot of the flat Earth stuff is like they don't know how deep the ocean is. It goes down for thousands and thousands of feet, but I've just been kind of looking at that and watching videos, and you know, I think again, like NASA is holding some stuff back, and they're not telling us everything. We got Planet X and all this Nibiru, and I don't know. I'm stoked to be honest.
Ian, let me tell you, there might be a virus going along with that one, and I'm totally not interested in that flat Earth. And that's nothing personal with anybody, but man, I don't know, that there's something weird about that whole gamut. I don't know what it's all about. I know UFOs exist. I know NASA is deciding to drop the ISS feed. They're not going to be doing live feeds anymore for the public, as we all loved, which is very unfortunate. Why would they do this? Well, they're probably just tired of covering up all the great evidence that people have gathered from these live ISS feeds, and they're tired of covering it up. It's just too much work for them, in my opinion. So, yeah, there's something going on with NASA, and they're not telling us the truth. I'm pretty sure if they knew what was going on, they know what's going on. Yeah, I'll retract that. They know what's going on, but they're not telling us what's going on. Okay, let's move on. Let's see. Thanks for the caller. Let's see. We have an anonymous caller. If you're there, speak up. Hello?
Hello?
Yep, that's you.
Hello?
Got you. Yep, hello. You're live. Third Phase Moon. Welcome to the show. Where are you calling in from?
Colorado.
Colorado.
Hello?
Oh, okay, cool. Yep.
I just want to make sure I'm on.
Oh, you're on. All the way from Colorado. Thanks for calling in. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Kayla.
All right, Kayla. You got something to share tonight to the world?
Yes, I do. Well,
great.
My issue started like when I was a child. I would have dreams and stuff that were weird, and I would tell my mom, and my mom thought I was wacko. You know, I would tell her stuff like that because I would see things in my dreams about creatures, and, you know, it was just weird. And as I got older, I traveled the world a lot, and I would go through, like, Nashville, Tennessee, Florida. I actually was in Florida from 1986 to 1992. And I was on a trip by myself, and I was going up to Nashville and stayed there for about 4 days. Some little situation going on, like, I guess a convention of coins and stuff, and I'm into silver coins with my grandpa. And on my way back from this trip, I was on the interstate going back to South Carolina. And I've noticed a lot of people started pulling off the side of the highway. And so being by myself and a female, I was like, it was at night. It was about 12 o'clock at night, 12:15. But everybody was pulling off the side of the road looking straight up. Now, mind you, I think they said that there was an airport nearby, but there was nothing going on that night. And this was 1996. And everybody was, you know, shooting their little cameras and everything. And I noticed that it was like a triangle. And you didn't see a triangle figure. You saw 3 lights that looked like a triangle. And then there was 9 of them, but they were so far apart. And then the lights would go in, the lights would go out, the lights would go in, the lights would go out, and then 3 would disappear and 6 would stay. And this went on for about, I would say, about 15 minutes. And then after everybody left because it all disappeared just right there in front of our eyes. And, I just traveled back to South Carolina where I was living at the time. Didn't think nothing of it. Well, I went home and I started thinking, I wonder if it's in a newspaper. I wonder if it's online, looking for this stuff, and I never saw nothing. So I guess I dismissed it. And then I wrote some stuff down. So then in 1990, I was in Lake Mary, Florida. I had a boyfriend at the time, and he drinks and I didn't. He's a weekend drinker, but I don't drink. And so one night he had a couple of beers, and I couldn't go to sleep after a movie we watched, and he went to bed first, and I couldn't sleep. So I tried to go back to bed, couldn't get up, couldn't go to sleep. So I got up to go smoke a cigarette outside, and there was it's a community of condominiums, and there was a big, huge pool, and the office attached to the pool. And there was palm trees all around this pool. And when I was smoking, the pool is lit up. Like there was like 9 lights around the pool and palm trees around that light. And I saw a figure of a person. That's what I thought at first. And anyway, so it kind of like mesmerized me. It's like I kind of got scared because it was late at night, smoking a cigarette, trying to, go to sleep. And all of a sudden, I guess when it went back in, it was 3 hours later. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's kind of like I felt like time froze. And then there was this little creature. And I'm not joking. It was I've been watching Thursdays in the Moon. I found it by accident on YouTube. And it interested me, and I started watching it. And now I'm starting to believe, with everybody talking about disclosure, it's got to be real because of the fact that I know what I saw, and I'm not a crazy person. I'm a born-again Christian. I'm not crazy. I don't want to believe some of this stuff. It's kind of scary to think that we have other beings out there that the government's been lying about and that we need disclosure. I think it's fair. I think that it should be fair because we pay our taxes, and they've been lying to us for so long. And I just feel like as a female, as a mom, I'm a mom to a 15-year-old daughter, and she's been seeing things. And now then recently, so I did see a creature, and I know it was, but it wasn't like it was going to hurt me. But it was like they use your brain like to talk to you. So it saw me, and it was like playing peekaboo behind the palm tree. It would come out and show itself, just, the top part of its head, and then it would go back into the back of the tree. Then it'd come back, because palm trees aren't that fat, But this one was pretty much about maybe 1.5 to 2 foot around. And so after I got out of this memorization thing, like I was numb, but I was awake, I went back in, and my boyfriend got out. I was getting ready to go to bed, and he got out of the bed. And I know this is going to sound weird, but it's true. He got up, and he was not awake. He was like standing up, and he began to pee on the wall of the bedroom. And I'm like, Marty, what are you doing? It's like the bathroom's over here. What are you doing? Because that's going to be a mess to clean up, right? And it's funny. But he was, like, memorized, too. He was, like, numb. He was, like, standing up. He didn't even know what he was doing. And it took me a while to shake him out of it, to get out of it. So I know something happened that night. I don't know what happened. But the next day we laughed about it because he's like, well, maybe I just, was sleepwalking. I said, you don't sleepwalk. That was weird. You was up and you just did your thing, and, you wouldn't stop. You wouldn't even hear my voice. So that always startled me because I never even, we're not together today, but we talked about it for weeks and nothing ever came about that. Now, my recent stuff. This is really shocking because from 1990 to now, and now finding your third base to the moon just recently, for the last 3 years in Colorado where we're living, my daughter, I have a service dog because I'm paralyzed, and so she takes my dog out to walk, and when I don't feel good, and
that's nice of her. Go ahead.
Oh, you're welcome. She's a really good kid. She's a great kid. She actually is my nurse, and so not legal, but we had nurses for a long time, and then she started taking care of me because she said now that she's getting older, she realizes after the event with Romney talking about people that take advantage of the system, she's like, well, it's $68,000 a year in your Medicare and your Medicaid to have nurses, and they don't do any of the stuff that I know I can do, so I'm going to save you some money off your Medicare and taxpayers. So she's been my little aide, my nurse for 3 years since she was 12. So she's a great kid. She makes straight A's too. Anyway, so we've been living here for 3 years, and she came back upset one afternoon, and she goes, broad daylight. She says, Mom, you know some of the things we saw on some of the channels? And she says, I know it wasn't a flock of birds. We don't live near water. She said there's like hundreds of them out in the back field. And I just was like stunned. I just couldn't move, and they disappeared. There was like hundreds of them, Mom. And so I was like, well, I have to believe her. She's my daughter. She doesn't fib, so I believed her. And then right after that, like she'll be in the house playing games or playing with her friends, and I'll go outside to smoke a cigarette in the parking lot. And I have a chair that kind of leans back because I have my neck's paralyzed, so I have a fusion. So I have a new chair that leans all the way back so I can enjoy the moon and the stars because I love that. I love the solar system and everything about it. My dad taught me some stuff when I was growing up in Louisiana, where I'm from. But anyway, the next thing I know, I'm just leaning back, broad daylight, and there's 3 of these birds she's talking about that they look like they're flying. They look like seagulls. And I went on YouTube right after I saw what I'm getting ready to share with you, and there's one other guy that says this, and I can't find it anymore, that he saw the same thing I saw, but he's in a different state. What it was is like, beautiful day, and there's just a little bit of clouds, okay? I know they're bombing right now with the chemtrails, and my daughter's actually caught the 2 signs. I've got my phone loaded with the 2 signs, the blue thing. We just don't know how to send it to you. And so anyway, they bomb the same side of the sky every night, starting I'd say about 6:45, and that's when I go out there and I take my pictures, and I take it either on Zoom or take it in regular, but I just have a small camera, but my daughter's got a better camera than I do, and she's caught stuff. Anyway, that afternoon, this was about 5 months ago. It was about March. I'm leaning out in the parking lot, smoking a cigarette, and here's these 3 seagulls, and they're flying to this top of this one cloud that's out there. right? Now, everybody knows about how high a bird could fly. And this particular cloud was so high and so puffy, they went to that cloud. And I was just mesmerized. I'm like, oh, my daughter was inside. I didn't know how long it was going to last. They flew around for a little bit, and then they went straight into that cloud. And they never came back out. Following day, I went back out, and it's been happening around 1 o'clock in the afternoon to about 3:15 in the afternoon. And I go out there, and just went on for about a month and a half. The 3 little things that look like seagulls, but they're solid white. They're not, and they hardly look like they're flapping. They just look like a seagull. And they go straight up into the clouds, and they don't come back. And I'll sit out there for hours and watch, and they don't come back. And I wanted to know if anybody else had experienced that besides that other guy that I saw that I can't find on YouTube. And then
sure.
The last,
this,
and the last thing.
Let me say this. Some people might think that this could be a glitch in the Matrix, that we live in a Matrix world, and some of these things are just illusions, and the Matrix can't handle everything on the grid. So there are these breakdowns, like what you're kind of describing. I'm not sure if I'm a believer in that, but when you see it for yourself, I guess it's quite interesting. What I'm more interested in is these UFOs that you encountered. Some people are saying it almost sounded like the Phoenix Lights earlier on when you're explaining this to me.
Yeah, but this was in Nashville, Tennessee, the one that everybody got off the interstate. That was in Nashville, Tennessee, and that was in 1995 in August. Because I wrote it down on my calendar, and I've kept it in my little. I have a jewelry box that I keep every little event that I see. But this is the one. There's 2 more. One is that I would say 3 months ago, we were walking the dog together at night. We just finished walking the dog. I had a time for your show tonight because I've been trying to get on for the last 8 months, and I haven't been able to get on. I keep missing it. Either I got something going on, and I missed it by a couple of minutes. I couldn't get on. But there was a couple. We were walking down the street with the dog, and about 2 blocks away, and there was a couple truly fighting. I mean, they were mad. They were throwing things, and she got in the car and left or whatever. Right before, now this my daughter, she could, we both saw this at the same time. It freaked my dog out too. Anyway, all of a sudden, this big flash of light. It looked like like a flashlight, but it fell from the sky, and it was on top, like in between the people's tree, in the tree that the people that was fighting. And when she took off in the car and left, and it was calm, then it shot back up in the sky fast. That one was the bomb. That one scared us so bad. I mean, we just came home and we couldn't even sleep. That one was the worst. It's like, man, maybe they come down here when people fight and see if they're going to be okay with each other, and as soon as everything's okay, they go back up. I don't know, but that's what it felt like. It made us feel like some higher source was watching this couple fighting to make sure that it didn't get too bad, then they left. That was it. And then the last one happened 2 months ago. And my neighbor, I was so glad my neighbor was walking her dog. And we were all out in the parking lot. And I would say, hey, Sissy, what time do you think that was when it was almost dark? It was 10? I thought it was before that. Anyway, so nothing was going on. There was no stairs. There was nothing going on. We were all in the parking lot. It was getting dark. Or maybe it was dark, she said. And first we saw this, those Chinese lights that I think they do balloons or something. They look like square bags, and they put candles in them. It's some kind of tradition. It looked like something like that, but it was square, and it was bright orange. Or I'm kind of colorblind from my stroke, but I saw orange. They saw kind of an orangey red. So one was over the lady's house, one was over the field, and one was right over us. And I would say about 50 feet above our head. One came down at a time, and this just happened 2 months ago. Nobody else talked about it. Nobody else was outside but my neighbor and her dog and her 2 children, me, my daughter, and my dog. We just saw this, and it just came down one at a time. It was in about, I don't know, it's like, I don't know how far, about 50 feet from each other, but so low. And that's what she even said. My neighbor said the same thing. It looked like something reminded the Chinese tradition. I don't know. They were in the movie, like a cartoon movie. I can't think of the movie. They're lanterns. That's what my daughter said. They're lanterns. And
okay.
So what would that be doing
sure.
in America? So I know I had a lot to say, But you know, I just
we got to get to
it's
other
so
callers.
weird
There's a lot of callers calling in. We got to get to them. Appreciate the call in, though. I appreciate the call in.
And I just wanted to know if other people were seeing these things.
Yeah, they're seeing them. They're all over the place. Look at Third Phase Moon. I'm sure you see it all. UFOs over the skies, corroborated by a lot of people. I think we got area code 360 on the line. I'm not sure if that's the caller from last week. Everybody stand by. This is Third Phase Moon. We have a lot of callers. We'll try and get to everybody tonight. We'll be right back. All right, let's do this. We're live, Third Phase Moon, taking calls from around the world. I got a familiar phone number, 360 area code, and we'll see what's going on. Area code 360,
hey.
You there? Hey,
yes, I am. How's it going, Blake?
Hey, pretty good. Refresh my memory. You called in, and
I did.
Phone number.
Yes.
And was there going to be an update?
It is going to be an update. This is Spencer down Central Oregon. Called last week talking about my grandfather over in Wright Patterson, Ohio. Yeah, so
absolutely.
I've been trying to get a hold of him all week for you, and I got a hold of him for like 2 minutes, and my grandmother's been in some poor health, so he wasn't in the mood to talk about that stuff. But I will continue trying. I'm sorry.
Well, I got to say that. You tried. That's. I gotta say.
I'm gonna
a lot of credit. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna keep trying. So we will get an update. Trust me.
All right. So we know your area code 360. So that's good. So every Friday you give it a shot because we want to get your 92-year-old grandfather on air.
Yeah. I do have another quick one I've been wanting to tell you for a while, and it kind of correlates to the last call. Okay, so when my sister was 9, we were growing up in the North Puget Sound, an area called LaConner, Washington, kind of around Anacortes and that region. And she saw a couple triangles that submerged out of the water, some USOs. And I was kind of like for a while, like, yeah, okay, And she saw them twice, she claimed, and they had she said like an energy kind of tether between them. And I was kind of like, yeah, okay. Sure, you're 10, and then I saw them a couple years back with my girlfriend up in Anacortes, and it wasn't just me; it was everyone stopped on the street and saw this happen. They came out of the water. It was 2 triangles, maybe about like 20, 30 feet across each, and they had like an energy tether between them, kind of just slow rotating, pure black, and they came out of the water, and they were just kind of slowly hovering around the town. And everyone was watching this, taking pictures. I have a couple pictures from back then, but they're like horrible. They turned out kind of night quality. I can still send them and see if you can get anything out of them.
You could try. Send it to our Facebook. We look at everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then so recently I went up to visit my daughter. This is like 3 weeks ago. I just got neck surgery, so I've been down for a little while. And but I went up to visit her 3 weeks ago prior to the surgery, and I went up to Anacortes to visit some friends, and I saw the same thing happen. It blew my mind. They came out of the same region of the water up there. There's an area in between Anacortes, Washington, where it's kind of like an inlet where they have a oil refinery, a Tesoro and Shell oil refinery. So I don't know if anything like that's related, but they always come out of the same spot right in the channel.
Well, that's weird.
So,
there might be something to it.
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen them twice, and my sister's seen them twice, and so, I'm thinking like next time I go up there, I'm going to be ready this time,
Yeah, get your camera ready. Get your camera ready, man. And there's some background noise over there, but I appreciate the call in, and you trying to reach out to your grandfather, working at Air Force Patterson Base. There's some definitely we want to know what's going on inside there. So we look forward to that. Get that for us. We'll be here. We'll be standing by. Call me, email me anytime if he's ready. We don't have to wait for the radio show. We could just do it on his time. All right?
Oh, great. I appreciate it. Thanks, Blake. You have a good night.
You too, man. And stand by. That's we got to get his grandfather in. He knows that the aliens are here, and he finally told his grandson this recently, and we're trying to get more information from that. So that's maybe a breaking story in the near future. We broke that story from the grandson that just called in, and it's on our radio show. Look for the 92-year-old military whistleblowers, something how we titled it. But we got another anonymous caller, and I don't know the area code. So anybody that calls in that has an unlisted number, I basically call them anonymous. So if you're there, go ahead and say hello.
Hey, what's up, Blake?
Yep. Hey, how's it going? Who's this? Is this F1?
Yeah,
why are you calling in under anonymous number?
I got my reasons.
Are you being... I got you. Welcome back, F1. It's been a while. How things going?
Okay. One thing I was going to say last week, but I don't know. Just wasn't in the right frame of mind, I guess. One thing that I wanted to point out as a positive is that...
Let me ask you about this NASA cutting down the live feed from the ISS. How does that make you feel?
The same as always. I spoke to a guy from NASA once in an airport after he had been drinking up in Oakland, and he basically didn't answer anything in particular. He just said, "You don't know the stuff we keep from the American public, and one day everyone's going to know." And he was a real straight-up guy, but this was after about 3-hour flight delay of just sitting there on Southwest Airlines free dime in the bar. So, it's the scary part is why. And I think that's really kind of the shocker, is what's going to shock everyone. And it's like...
Do you got a feeling that they're tired of... Do you think they got tired of paying somebody to cut the feed every time they see something weird come up on the ISS feed?
I think that people are just even those trained people are getting they get off guard, they get inundated, they get comfortable, they get sometimes they just want to change it up. Remember, they're just humans too. So I think sometimes they just say they get tired of the battle, and sometimes their human side comes out, and that's the weak link. As secret as you can make things, remember, you're just keeping secrets with humans, and humans always screw it up somehow or have moments of weakness. But one of the positives go ahead.
I just want to say, when I was younger, we knew the satellites were orbiting Earth, and we had these space stations up there. Why don't they just give us a live feed of planet Earth? Wouldn't that be neat? What's so hard about this? And then they finally did it. And it's like, wow, this is really happening. We get to see our Earth in real time, which is really pretty awesome. And then they cut it off. What's the budget of broadcasting a live feed from the ISS down to Houston? There's really no sense on a budget standpoint why they stop that.
There can't be a budget when they own everything to begin with. Nothing gets put out on the airwaves that a certain entity doesn't review first and give them permission to, just like what goes on with the Weather Channel interview and you and everybody else and everything, and movies that are made, they won't let them mention anything about areas, and there's reasons for that. And I've been up late at night and talking on the phone with a stepbrother, kind of a person to our family, and we both saw the alien ship fly by through live coverage, and then the next thing you know is they were denying it, and they cut the feed, and it's like, he said it at the same time I did. He goes, "Did you just see what I just saw?" And I go, "Yeah." And it was at a really odd time in the morning. It was like 2:30 or so in the morning. But one of the positive things I was going to say is that, it's, I don't know if you've heard in the past about places a couple places, but one particularly in Siberia where there are actually brass round turrets that come out of the ground in the forest there, and people have actually seen them shoot copper balls at UFOs in the sky and blow them up. And it's like, that's obviously put there by someone that's trying to help protect us. So I just
Are you
think,
talking about ancient alien weapons or something? Ancient alien weapons discovered?
Yes. And you can verify this by a quick check. One of the places I know they're like turrets with huge copper semicircles on top that open up and actually shoot a copperish type of ball that goes right to the UFO and destroys it. And they've been there for quite a while. And, you got to think, well, that's got to be someone that's benevolent, that's helping us, that's trying to protect us. So I just think you apply the basic laws of good and evil, and you have it throughout the universe, no matter how unending the universe is or whatever the characters are playing this, and whatever the big picture is, there's always going to be good and evil. There's always going to be Adam and there's always going to be a Cain and Abel type of scenario in anything. So
do you think
I didn't know
that
if that many people knew about that. Excuse me?
Yeah, the Devin Sturgeon's bringing it up on the flash. Do you think that Tunguska explosion over Serbia, Russia, was one of these weapons bringing down a ship?
I wouldn't doubt it. I haven't seen any of the photography or know the exact site, but these are supposedly all over the planet, and I'm sure that they're put there within their radius tolerance, and then that's how they're separated by distance. But for sure they're there, and for sure that it's been documented that they have taken down UFOs. So it's pretty, that kind of makes you smile in a way, but then makes you nod your head and go, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, ancient weapons being discovered. You got to send me some of these links. I want to see this stuff. I got to share it out. I got to get this information out.
Or as the show's going on right now, have anyone check on it. I know some of the places. One of the places for sure is in Siberia, and they're actually weapons that come out of the ground. They've been there forever. And they do shoot projectile, just balls, and actually one shot, one kill. So I challenge anyone to go ahead and check that out and call back and verify what I'm saying, because it's true. And I just thought I'd put that out there as kind of a good thing,
Well, yeah, this proves that they've been here, and we have to be worried about certain alien visitors, obviously, because the technology was developed by alien technology, it sounds like, and they're defending against some kind of other alien species.
That's right, which means they obviously know some of the technology of those that they're not in friendly communication with or have been in the past, and know how to build technology to defeat the protective electro or photo barriers that ships can put out to protect themselves. And evidently their weapons penetrate that defense very effectively. And they're doing it on our behalf. It's not hurting us.
But check this out. This came in. from one of our sources. I think it came in from the Flycatch, and he sent me this link, and he says that there's Siberian cauldrons, alien weapons in Siberia. They're known as the Siberian cauldrons.
That's correct. They're known as cauldrons, correct.
And they've been also, let's see, they're known as
But there are
Siberian
other places
cauldrons.
as well.
They've been seen in other places like Valley of Death in Siberia, Russia, and
also I believe in Iran.
See what we got here. They say that.
So yeah, he confirmed it. That's cool. I told you, it's nice to get confirmation, but I know I'm telling you the truth.
They say the objects were submerged in small pools of swamp-like water that is about 2 to 3 feet deep, and the reporters were told that the objects were definitely metallic, and the group walked on the top of the objects, clearly heard metallic sounds when they struck the objects. I
know some of them are also on land and not submerged in a bog. There's actually some photos. There's photos of some that are actually when they're fully extended and the copper top that they have. Pretty cool stuff, though.
All right, F1, we're going to look into that. Stand by. We got so many callers in, and we only got about 14 minutes left. Maybe we could get F1 back, get some more detail, but we got to get to the callers. Let's get to them. They've been waiting for about 50 minutes here, so we got to bring them in. Area code 281. You're live, Third Phase Moon. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Thanks for holding. You got something to share tonight?
Oh no, I was just enjoying the show.
No problem. What do you think about NASA shutting down the live feed? One quick question for you.
Yeah, it's suspicious, I guess. I don't know. I mean, just like you just asked. I mean, yeah, why would they do that? But I don't know. More questions, I guess.
That's it. That is, why would they do this? They don't really give it a really good answer, in my opinion. Let's bring in area code 317. You there? 317?
Hello?
Yeah. Hi there. Welcome to the show.
Hello, just listening in.
Oh, just listening in. No problem. Let's bring in area code 239. 239, you there?
Yeah. Hello?
Hi there. Hi.
Hey.
Hey, you got to shut down your background radio. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm actually coming from Florida, man, from the 239 area.
Got you. Okay, cool. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, bro. Hey, man, I've been a long time listener, man. Hey, listen, man. I've been seeing some things, man, over here from the skies, man. And I always wanted to come out, man, but it's kind of hard. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't believe in all this other things and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Sure. You're coming in a little muffled. If you could fix that muffle up a little bit.
Oh yeah, hold up. Okay, I got you on speaker, man. Hold up. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, much better. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of weird stuff going on. And appreciate you calling in. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, long time listener, man. I appreciate your show, man. Hey, listen, man. I'm from Florida. I'm from the 239 area. And you know what, man? There's some things that I've been seeing, man, here from the skies and all that, man. And it's, you know what? You guys are the best people that I can actually talk to tell me that what it is that I see, you know what I mean? Because shooting stars come from what? From the north, from the from the east to the west and things like that. But from what I saw, man, this is something that came down from like straight down. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like shooting stars don't come down like from north to south. You know what I mean? And
sure, I guess. So what do you think it was?
Yeah. You know, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't trying to. You know, I'm trying to ask you, man, because you know you're the one who are more into this. You know, you're the guys who are the one who know more about this. You know what I'm saying?
What's the question?
So the question is to me, man, is that what I saw, man, is like, I don't know, man. I mean, it wasn't a shooting star, man. Cause listen, man. I've seen shooting stars all my life and all that, and shooting stars don't come from north to south. You know what I mean? Like a straight down shot. You know what I mean? And what I saw, it was like I don't know, man. The lights were like a light, you know, like a bluish, whitish light coming straight down. And
you know what? Almost sounds like a shooting star, if you ask me. It just sounds like a shooting star. Okay, appreciate the call in from Florida. We only got a few minutes left, so I don't know, man. There's weird things in the skies, and there's shooting stars in the skies, too. We see them all the time. I want to see something and hear something spectacular. Misidentified UFOs could be mistaken for shooting stars. Let's go to another anonymous caller. Are you there? Speak up.
Yes, thank you very much for taking my call. My name is Iraj. Regarding the 1976 Iranian UFO, that it was over Tehran airport, and I was witnessed, and
really?
It was one of the major UFO internationally. UFO witnessed internationally. Yes, okay. And I have seen a lot of other UFOs also. And you know, the latest one was about 8 months ago, and I said the mothership.
Hold on a sec. Sure. Let's get back to the beginning. Okay, so what was the name of the airport in Iran? When and where?
Mehrabad Airport. At that time, Shah of Iran was in charge, and two Air Force officers from Hamadan with F-5s. They came supersonically from Hamadan, which is about 300 miles away from Tehran. And within 4-5 minutes, they arrived in Tehran. And they had one, I'm sure you know the dogfight over Tehran. I'm sure you have read the book or not.
I have not. Sorry to say, but so okay. Explain to me what this UFO looked like in the Iranian airport.
I mean, it was just multicolors, and it was very fast moving, and also smaller UFOs ejected from the mother UFO and
really?
Went around. Yes. Went
UFOs
around
ejected. Hold on. UFOs ejected out of the UFO and they started to spread apart and survey the area?
I mean, no. Went over the F-5 that was following the mother UFO. And at one point, the pilots, they lost all their instruments, indeed. They lost all their instruments and they were almost crashing. And they were in the time that they were almost ejecting from the planes. But as they came away from it, all their electronic components came back. And then they went over one more time to following it. At that time, the mother UFO sent the little one, which went quickly following the planes. Yes.
Wow, this is amazing. And how old were you at this time?
So it was working, kid, say I was 5-6 years old.
Wow. Okay. So you're around a lot of adults and maybe possibly family. What were they thinking? What was the crowd reacting to this sighting?
In the next day, I remembered the Iranian news agents and newspapers all have written that we hope a day comes that all Iranians will witness UFO. So that was a big thing because what we saw